Ring ring ring, hero simps, virgins, and also peasants. That's you! And welcome back to Krown's magical Vacuum Cave.
How about Krown's magical dance with toilet paper cave? Anyways, Elsa gave me a very Finnish show last night. She said, this is from the forest, and she grabbed 2 pieces of like long toilet paper rolls and started moving her hands like a fucking dancing monkey. and I've been laughing about it ever since. What the actual fuck was that? Anyways, we do actually have a lot to talk about today. Today, I do think there is a strong probability that I'm going to be massively wrong about yesterday's analysis, in the sense that back above 29,900 equals good. Now, with that in mind, it is still okay for now, but I do want to be going over a major setup here, because if this one does get hit, I'm going to be so fucking wrong about that. It is going to be embarrassing, and Bitcoin's very likely going to come down rather hard here if that does get initiated. So we'll get into that soon enough. Of course, for right now, still okay, but or at least I run with the current trend for right now. But with that in mind, there are a few major things to be very much aware of today. So I am going to continue to sip on this caffeine over here. Been up since fucking 4 a.m. this morning. It's sun wakes up at 4 a.m. so I wake up at 4 a.m. as well, I guess. Anyways, I do appreciate all the people who have been suggesting implementing blackout curtains. I'm very much aware of this technology. We'll definitely be getting it, but in our new place as of right now, it's actually quite difficult to do in our current room, because our house is, or our apartment's kind of shaped weird. It's like a penthouse, and it doesn't really have like normal windows, so it's kind of difficult to implement in this current place. But major appreciation for that, and happy morning to everyone out there in cryptocurrency land. I see a lot of familiar faces here, as always. It's fucking beautiful, man. I see Philosophian, I see Sandman, Taz Perry, Michael Cheney. What's up, man? Eric Dobkin, there he is, down to Goblin Town. Good morning, fellow goblins, and welcome back to the Krown Crypto channel, where we're fucking goblins all up our asshole right now, and it's getting ready to fucking dump in my face. Anyways, and our lovely moderators as well. What's up, Mr. Alex Switch and Nikki Page? There she is, Matador MC, not a moderator, but also an OG of this cave as well. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The Wrath of Crypto Con. That is a great name, man. Dingo ate my Satoshis. SK says ring ring. Michael Blast, Hodl Crypto, and Yoka Mop. Man, I'm just butchering names today, left, right, and center. I apologize, man. That is not intentional. That's just my unsophisticated American tongue, unfortunately. I can't say a lot of these words. I mean, shit, man, I can barely even say anything in Finnish around here. It's just embarrassing anytime I try to open my mouth and attempt. Anyways, Kryptonaires, Feltima, Andrew Muniz. We have Digital Media. Hey, Digital Media, dude. Another OG. Mac Douglas, another OG. Holy shit, man. It's good to see the OG still around. You've been around since 2018, 2019. Might as well stick around during these times as well, man, because why the fuck not? I'm still going to be here. So if you're going to be here, then we might as well do it, baby. Enjoy, Broder, Moonboy, Antenna. I see some new members. Nice, very, very cool. Crypto Chrissy, good morning to you as well. Sir Spanks a lot. Is that going in the drawer for best names on YouTube? It's up there, but I don't know if it's on the same level as Some G, and Suck Me Sir, and Mr. Gaylord. And who? And huge ass titties. Yeah, huge ass titties. Yeah, we got some good names here. This is fucking beautiful. Anyways, I do want to let you know before we get to the content of today that oh, my chest hair. Yeah, I have actually a lot of chest hair today. This shirt is not sized properly and quite ugly, actually. Anyways, what was I gonna say? Yes, we're actually kind of working on a side project right now, and there's a new YouTube channel just kind of like showing a few clips here and there. If you happen to give a fuck, it's at Eric Krown Crypto Clips, and we'll be just uploading like random sort of maybe some insights, maybe some funny moments, maybe just some bullshit as well, but. If you happen to give a fuck, you can definitely check that out on YouTube, of course. And other than that, as always, should probably remind you on Instagram, I am posting more there now. The link is in the description below. What else? Yeah, a bunch of scammers on Instagram as well. Please be aware of that. I think 99% of people know, but if you're wondering why I can't continue to repeat that, is because I do actually get emails and sometimes messages, basically people asking like, hey man, is this you? Is this your? I'm about to send like $10,000 to your secret trading account. I would just want to make sure that it's like, no, man, no, it's not. I can assure you that it is not. Please do not do that. It's probably going to end in tears. Anyways, when OnlyFans soon, coming soon. Is that one still around? Are they still letting that one rock and roll? It's only peasants. Oh my God. How we need to fucking get that domain name immediately. Only peasants and only Sims. Beautiful. Scam me, baby, says Digital Media Dude. Yes, if you would like to get scammed, definitely respond to their messages. And it definitely is like a real person behind them too, because when people show me the conversations, they're having like, you know, in detail conversations, and the guy's like kind of responding in kind. So there's actually like someone behind that account. And I mean, Jesus Christ, like you got to be completely dead inside to fucking do that. But hey, I guess desperate times call for desperate measures. Who knows what kind of situation they're dealing with in life. Anyways, we'll be getting to these comments soon enough. Fucking by the dip, there he is. Tear me a new Luna. I'm actually curious to see, where is Luna? I haven't looked at Luna basically since last stream, but even last stream it was already pretty bad, pretty awful. And that's exactly where you expect it to be, in the ground where it probably deserves. And Bitcoin dance around $30,000. This might be the last time. We'll never see $30,000 ever again. Now, I'm not saying that right now, but I do think that it is important to be aware that you know, this short-term setup, not the greatest right now. And then also on Twitter, I don't know, do we have it in the description below? Let me just double check. Yeah, we do have the Krown trading app in the Twitter description link below. That's just a roundabout way of saying that one. To be honest, I've actually been focusing more on that Twitter account recently, just kind of posting data from the Krown trading application, you know, basically what you see on the dashboard over here, but giving some more insight into especially like the premium content on it, like the hourly data feeds for funny rates, because that's actually been showing like some pretty good edges, you know, really since we started doing that. That alongside global open interest, those kind of been my two main go-tos for that one. Those seem to actually really do well, especially when combined together. And then, you know, fear and greed index maybe to a lesser degree on like the macro, if you will, and obviously Bitcoin dominance, but we can just look at a chart for that. I think it's gonna be a bit easier, but yeah, it's actually starting to move up here, and I suspect that it's got a lot more to move up as well. Anyways, and if you ever just want like a conglomerated, you know, market order tab, this would do it right here. In fact, I'm going to adjust this, because you can do that. You can actually adjust it when you do have a premium, or I don't know, maybe you can do it on a free account as well. As always, the base functionality is free, and the big one that I always want to hammer in is the trading journal over here. I'm going to shill my free stuff. It's like there's always someone who will comment like, Krown's just shilling his app. It's like, dude, most of it is free. And also, do you have any idea how much money that costs? It's not fucking free to make, I'll tell you that right now. I've invested a shit ton in it, but I'm very happy and proud of it. And this would be one of the big things that I'm most proud of, actually, the trading journal over here, which is going to have even more functionality soon enough. Just waiting on a few more updates. Let me actually see what our team chat is saying over here, because maybe there's one coming relatively soon. Yeah, it looks like the next couple of weeks it would seem. But again, you can test out your strategies over here, document them, and then compare different strategies as well. Obviously, you know, if you don't like this free material, you can use, you know, Excel, you can use pen and paper, but this one has it, you know, already done for you. So with that in mind, I do feel like this is, at least in my humble opinion, quite valuable, alongside all the other things that you get. Well, I mean, that one is kind of free, so I guess you don't necessarily need full-on premium for that, unless you want to have like multiple journals. Anyways, shut up, Captain, says Stephen Kumar. Who is, what is he saying? Finland will be Russia province soon. Jesus Christ, man. Okay. Well, okay, Elsa is not going to take kindly to that. All right, I got a few more. Oh, well, I actually got a lot more sippy sips over here. Time to put him on a bit of a vacation. We don't need to be hearing any of that right now, although I do understand, of course, there can be wait, what is this? Hold on. Ice Sniper 23 says, "Sir, I recently got scammed by a 30-year-old Asian." What is his age and background matter? But I'm very interested now to go on. How do I get my money back? He said he failed to peg me, so now I'm gonna get the hard fork. Oh fuck yeah. Okay, I think I know who you're talking about. I think the South Korean judicial system will figure that one out, or at least that's what I'm seeing now. Man, I wonder what's going to actually happen with that, because like it quite literally reads like a pyramid scheme. Again, I'm no like full-on fundamental analyst, but it quite literally, to me, it would look very much like a pyramid scheme. But is that illegal to do in South Korea? Like, will he actually get into trouble? And if he does, what sort of a precedent does that set for other projects? Because I don't think that Loon is the only one doing shit like that. The real question is, for all the people who are like abundantly shilling Luna, how are they going to fucking answer to that one, man? I mean, because obviously if they're like abundantly shilling it based off of the fundamentals, like certain channels that I've certainly seen, well, if they're shilling off the fundamentals, well, that would imply that you probably know that it's a fucking pyramid. Anyways, hard fork me, baby, one more time. He's already been summoned by the South Korean government. Right, but that could just be to, understand the situation better. That's not like a court hearing from what I understand, unless if their like government is the same thing as a court, although maybe it could lead to that at some point in time. Obviously, I'm no like legal expert here, so I'm just, Hell says, oh really? Yes, really, that's crazy. But yeah, man, it'll be a very interesting situation to just follow in general. In my defense, I said bye Luna, not bye. That would actually be quite genius, man. Yeah, that's the sentiment. Fundamentals for you gets sentiment. There you go, man. Yeah, as long as we don't get nuked, it's all good, man. That's the one that I care about the most. Apparently now though, we got monkeypox to be worried about. So that's kind of a racist, actually is a racist name now that you think about it. But from what I understand, like I think that the smallpox vaccine, that one might help out. But then I just said the V word, and man, this channel's going down or south real fast now.
Yeah, but think about it. There's an Altcoin that everyone's asking, and suddenly there's an Altcoin.
Whoa, hey, hold up. Nikki Page says, please like the stream, all you lurkers not liking this content. Yeah, it would be appreciated. We're almost at 300 right now too. That's pretty good. I think things are kind of slowly picking up again, but I do expect things to actually die back down probably around the heart or maybe latter portion of summer. That would actually be a good thing. In my opinion, that's probably best case scenario for cryptos and Bitcoin, just the general spheres. We want to see maybe another few weeks of rather, of relatively higher volatility, probably into like early June. And then after that, if things die down for like 3-4 months, that would be a pretty good signal, in my opinion, if best case scenario for Bitcoin to kind of bottom out and maybe move its way back up. Probably not hitting any new all-time highs anytime soon, but just, putting in a low. Worst case scenario is redistribution over summer. Like the stream, or Do Kwon will sneak into your house and stare at you while you sleep. Lol, IDK. Like or you will get nuked. Holy shit. Gonna dump harder than Amber Heard. Oh my god. Come back in 2025, kids. Yeah, I do think like a realistic timeline is to, if you are looking at like new all-time highs, probably years away, realistically. I wouldn't be surprised like 3 years from now. Yeah, 2025 would be kind of around that, right? There's a halving somewhere in there as well, so that's usually good. I know. Amber Turd. I love that one, man. Shemitah ending in early September. What's Shemitah? I'm not familiar with that. Sell in May and walk away. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, out of all of the seasonal sort of proverbs or just shit that people kind of spew, the May one actually has held up extremely well. Extremely fucking well for like the last, I guess, 4 or 5 years now. It's been incredibly well. I didn't know Krown was a former New York Stock Exchange market maker. I was New York Stock Exchange ARCA market maker authorized trade, if you want to be super exact. But yeah, I did have a Series 56. Now no longer. Now I'm just a fucking crypto degen, I guess, man. I guess quite a different game here. But I do think that there's more opportunity actually in this game, to be quite frank, and also more freedom as well. Because when you're tethered to like a more professional thing like that, for example, I'd have to be on their schedule, so traveling around is kind of out of the question at that point, and then 2, not only am I kind of on their schedule, but I have to connect to all their servers and everything. And, it's just, I don't know, it's just more things to deal with than I feel is necessary. And then also there's just more opportunity in cryptocurrency, in my opinion. I am George. Guys, it's time to DCA into Luna Classic. Guys, continue to strap in. I fucking hate it when people say guys. And like, it's like speaking to like a group, like my followers should do this. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, you have some very lofty ideas of what this whole thing is, man. We're looking at magic internet money business over here. It's pretty much all a scam in my eyes. Maybe we have a couple of legitimate ones. Jesus Christ, man. Silliness, guys. Let's go, troop. What's good? I'm not familiar with that. Dario V says yes, please. Some Bitcoin TA. As always, man. The first 10-15 minutes are me just sipping on coffee and having a bit of a chat. I understand that can be very, 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 very awful for some people out there. All you have to do is just come back in like 5-10 minutes and we'll do some Bitcoin content. Or what you could do if it's like truly despicable to you is you could just wait for like maybe 4 or 5 hours. I'll actually post just the Bitcoin video. I do it every fucking time and it'll be like around 10 minutes or so. Today's might even be a little bit more on the shorter end because things are rather clean cut here actually. Kind of a good thing. Bitdefender Antivirus says your app page has a virus. Yeah. So we're aware of that. It happens every time we have a new update. For whatever reason, Bitdefender just doesn't like the way that we do it, and you can just whitelist it for now. I can assure you that it's all good. It's okay. I have full trust in our developers, and they assure me that is completely fine as well. So it should be all good. Funnily enough, like he had something interesting to say about it the other day, but yeah, I think they're working on like a fix on it anyway. So fair enough, man. Anyways, what? Yeah, the antivirus thing. Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, I agree. It would look pretty sketch, but no, I'm told that it's completely fine. So all good. And also, well, it's my app, so I should probably know. No, I can assure you that no nefarious activities are going on right there. At least that I am aware of. Anyways, Shemitah is the Jewish Sabbath year. I don't even know anything about that, man. My dad's Jewish, but I've like stepped into a temple once. But I'm a part of the Shadow Council as well. I guess according to some interesting comments out there. Fair enough, man. I'm still waiting for my invitation though. Guys, let me show you how strong Bitcoin is today. Is this, I guess I'm like reading some sort of a script here that people are commenting on, and I'm just not aware of where this is coming from. Opens a tab, quickly closes. We don't want to look at the portfolio. DCA is down, but guys, trust me. DCA, funny thing about DCA, you only should DCA into fucking uptrends. Crazy thing. Trading the trend, amazing. Absolutely fucking amazing. DCAing into a Luna downtrend, not amazing. Very bad. Very, very bad. Did I miss a Slurpee Slurp? I think there's at least 2 more in here. So no, sir. Turn up the volume, man. It's gonna be some coffee ASMR right here. Let's get that sexy 69 Bitcoin price. Are we at Bitcoin 69? I can't see. Very nice. Markets usually crash hard on Shemitah. Interesting. Okay. I thought Yom Kippur was in September, but that shows about how much I'm aware of of that whole thing. Oh wow, man, our likes is almost doubled right there. 525 is amazing. Major thank you for that. Very much appreciated for that. Chug says Ben Hesses. I see in the Discord out of the side of my eye, we're talking about hogs again. How about 4 inches? Asking for a friend. Like, Wally, what the fuck, man? Hog picks abound, man. It's like, it must be so interesting for a new person to jump on it, but at least we don't have the fucking Z's bullshit anymore. Jesus Christ, man, that was getting full on weird, man. That was getting full on weird. Anyways, what's up, Bear Nutrition? Good morning to you as well, my friend. Good morning to you, sir. Options expire. Big puts won't get paid. Usually, most options do expire worthless, right? What is the statistic? I think like 70 or 80% of options expire worthless. So yeah, I mean, that's something that I typically do kind of actually trust quite a fair bit. And in fact, this would be a good time. Let's actually go check it out. Bitcoin, maybe put call ratios. Where was the site that I used to reference? Because this was actually quite useful, and we can just kind of spend some time over here. All right, maybe I shouldn't show my search history because that would be bad. I think it's this one right here. Yes, let's see. Okay, so today, we're 20th today. What's the most traded strikes? Most traded strike is $32,000. Yep, probably not going over there. Probably not going below 32,000. Or sorry, probably not going below 30,000 or above 32,000 before expiration, which is in just a couple hours. And then we can fucking wreck this market all we want. Let's see what the next biggest expiration is. Actually, let's see. It should be over here. May regulars and then June regulars. So let's see May regulars first. What do we have here? Max Payne is bullshit, but 30,000 going to be a big one for the puts, and well, 44,000 extremely unlikely to happen. But I'd even go as far to say $32,000 probably not happening by end of month here, or maybe somewhere around there, maybe somewhere just below. Let's see, what about the biggest traded strike here? So that's June regulars, so that's about June 24th in this case. Let's see what we got. Okay, big put interest on the $25,000 strike and big call interest at the $40,000 call strike. I would say I'd feel very comfortable saying that we're extremely unlikely to go over $40,000 by that time, and probably unlikely to close below about 25,000 at the same time as well. It doesn't mean that you can't trade below 25,000 in the interim, but unlikely to close the month there. I guess that's basically your monthly is June 24th in this case. Anyways, I'll go back on over here, read a few more comments, and sip on the last of this over here. All right, it's cashed out, and Elsa, if I could have some what's it called? Some of the water.
I don't know. Ask nicely.
I don't know. Ask nicely, and then we'll get right into the content right here. What is this? Oh, Jesus Christ! What the fuck? What the actual fuck? what in tarnation's going on right now? Let me just check this really quick. And I'm just waiting for someone's gonna complain with you pour water. Yeah, people will find anything to complain about, but it's all good. It's usually just one person out of, like, a couple thousand. I think that's pretty good. Problem is, it's hard to ignore it. It's a weird thing, honestly. Reading comments, like, you can read 10 good comments and then one bad comment, and you just kind of focus on the bad one a lot of the time. Human nature is a hell of a drug, isn't it? Anyways, let me bring up my notes over here. I want to make sure that my accounts are safe and Safu over here, because I think that there might be some opportunities on this particular video. And yes, okay, let me just double check. Okay, beautiful. All right, here we go, starting off with Bitcoin as always, and I do believe that there is a relevant reason to be aware of a potential fake out going on right now. Now, yesterday I was looking at the 29,900 region as a big pivot on this market. I think that there is good reason to believe that I can be massively wrong on that. It'd be quite embarrassing, obviously, but I do want to be aware of this fact as of right now. So with that in mind, let me recap the last 24 hours. We were looking at that region as a short-term indication that Bitcoin was going to come back up and test the medium-term time frame range highs. That's basically this region right here at about 31,500 or so, in line with our last few wick highs and closing highs from basically middle of May in this case. Playing out the LARP lines right here, actually. But ultimately, as of right now, we are still looking at lower highs for the time being. And because we are looking at lower highs, it's time to combine that with a few other signals that, if they play out, this would confirm a major fake out, in my opinion, and very likely imply targets back down well below $30,000, probably closer to $27,500 to $28,000 with a bounce in there, and maybe even closing lower lows for the time being as well. Wouldn't necessarily imply a full-on move down to our current low, but if this does happen, there will be a threat of that, and we'll probably come back tomorrow on Saturday and see and kind of assess the damage. But for right now, as long as these conditions that I'm about to speak about are not present, they're not ticked off, then I actually do still stick with what I said yesterday. And Bitcoin likely to trade back up towards the medium-term time frame range highs and probably pull back from there over the weekend. And in this case, what is essentially the setup? Well, a few things. So first and foremost, and actually a big one for me, is the funny rates over here. I tweeted this out on the Krown trading application Twitter account earlier, and actually been doing that rather frequently recently. Or actually, Elsa does it, to be fair, so should give her some credit on that one. And if you are interested in, like, some of the underlying market dynamics, it would be a good account to follow, as we try to do this, nice and easily when it is relevant. And in this case right here, we see that funny rates have actually flipped back up to positive, significantly positive compared to especially the last week of recorded data at 0.011%. Again, this is like not a super high level, naturally speaking, but within the context of our current trend, which is a downtrend, high funding rates or positive funding rates in general have been, good local high areas. Just like in a general uptrend, negative funding rates have been good local low areas. But now, seen as we've reversed, this is a concerning factor right over here. That combined with our momentum oscillators, of which the 4 hour is setting up for another drive of hidden bearish divergence. So we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I believe it's consistent up to a 6 hour as well. Yeah, it certainly will have a potential put in the 6 hour, and I think maybe even the 12 hour or the daily. One of these guys is printing it right here, maybe on spot price action. Let me just double check. No, and also no, actually. But fair enough. These timeframes do still hold some weight. If that does get confirmed as a local high, which will happen with especially a 4-hour closure below about 29,600 in this case, I would say is fair game. Even just below 30,000 bucks is bad enough, or sorry, 29.9 is bad enough. But ultimately, that would confirm this as a local high and thus a lower high, and well, hidden bearish divergence plus momentum oscillators all the way up to, I believe, a 12-hour start to turn down below there. Sorry, no, I'm wrong on a 12-hour, 6-hour, however, should do it. No, about 29,000 bucks right there, actually. So again, wrong on that one. 4-hour will turn down below about 29,000 bucks as well. Again, do understand that when the time frame closes, this number will naturally go up, and 3-hour is probably going to be flippy floppy if I had to guess. It's going to turn down below about 30,100, and hourly is going to continue down below about 30,600 or so. So ultimately, I'm getting conflicting signals right here. Again, I want to reiterate my stance here very hopefully as abundantly clear as possible that as long as that condition is met for confirming a local high right here, I am not looking at this as a fake out. If this does get confirmed as a fake out, then yes, very likely back down somewhere between about 27.5 to 28,000 bucks. Probably a bounce there, but I do think that bounce would probably fail, and we'd likely see new closing lower lows, not necessarily lower than the last like major wick low, but likely new closing lower lows. Anyways, that is also going to be consistent with the daily right here. The daily is what is most concerning to me, potentially speaking, and that is because daily stochastic momentum will turn down with any sort of a daily closure below 29,350. If you're on the higher term timeframes and you just want a nice and clean and clear sound bit, the daily, any sort of a daily closure today, end of day, below that level, 29,350. And yes, I would be looking for, very likely a move somewhere south of $28,000, maybe even as low as like 26 or so. Until that happens though, I do still look at this as more likely to test the medium term timeframe range highs somewhere around 31.5 or so, and probably sets up for a greater move to the upside. Again, as long as that condition is not met, all kind of hinges on the short-term timeframes below about 29.6, I would say, or on the daily below 29,350. The daily one being particularly nasty in this case. Other than that, I do want to, yes, we spoke about targets. I do want to speak about a little bit more on the hopium side. So the reason why I'm not blindly saying that this is definitely going to be a fake out, definitely going to be a trap, is due to Dixie over here, which we covered yesterday briefly. Dixie is playing out the downside move that we were looking for. Didn't necessarily get like a full-on major move to the upside, but we weren't necessarily looking for a full-on major move to the upside. The next move was very likely to the downside, which we've gotten. So in this case, I am looking for this one to correct a little bit more, probably into end of this month, and that's going to play into the other chart that still does suggest that Bitcoin's a lot more likely to bounce out of this range into like the shallow $30,000 territory, which we've kind of gotten a little bit of already, into early June. Doesn't mean that we can't come back down and swipe lows one more time, but it would still suggest that we probably hold those lows on a wick basis at least. In this case right here, I am looking for this to correct down probably into early June, somewhere around 102 or so. We're already down to about 102.65, which was yesterday's major targeted region for the short term, or actually a little bit lower than that, about 102.40. So I would be looking for a shallow amount of continuation right here, probably one more bounce attempt, and then likely comes down next week, probably next week. So in this case, that plays into the 5-day chart over here, of which this is essentially judging my bias that Bitcoin's more likely to bounce out of this region to the upside before potentially rolling over later. Now in this case, short term, again, that doesn't mean that Bitcoin can't come back down and maybe even test around our current wick lows. I just don't want to see any closing lower lows than the wick low. A closing lower low than the last closed low, which was, I think, around 28,000 bucks. I think that is possible, however. So I would kind of keep open the door for that. I'm not too confident on this right now, to be quite frank with you. And I think it's important to be very, forthright with something like that. But basically, this chart over here, this was essentially the chart that gave us the buys for a major move to the downside from about 48,000 bucks. That one's already played out, obviously. And then what I've been doing recently is looking at the mean reversion of those typical moves after these targets have played out. So this one, again, it's already played out. I won't go through the explanation on this again here because, we've done it too many damn times. But what I'm looking at right now is the mean reversion play after you play at that downside move. So in this case over here, you can see that after Bitcoin plays out the major downside move, the next upside move, about 29% done over the course of 10, 15 days, right? I've done all the calculations for all these past 4 ones, not including our current 5th one, obviously, because it hasn't happened just yet. And I've recorded the data over here. of which we can look at the mean reversion play from all of the past iterations and the average of that, which was about 31.1%. That would again put Bitcoin somewhere around about $33,000, give or take about $500 from that number. And then if we only include the downside mean reversion plays, which obviously this one was a downside one, similar to May down and similar to December down, a little bit more in this case, about 38.12%. That actually put Bitcoin around about $35,000. And we can also look at the average days taken for this. It was about 13.75. You'll notice on this data right here, 15 definitely shows up quite a fair bit. So if you're thinking in terms of statistics, likely to take about 15 days. What is 15 days? Or sorry, not 15 days. Yes, 15 days. Yes, 15 days puts us at around early June in this case, very early June. So I do still think that statistically speaking, probabilistically speaking, Bitcoin is more likely to play out that nice bounce into like end of this month, early June. Again, doesn't mean that we can't come down short term. And of course, those areas match up very, very nicely with some major areas over here. For one, our major daily fib from the last major drop off to our current major low, we got the 382 right around 32.5. So that showed up on that chart on the projected move to the upside. And then I think, best case scenario in the next month or so is probably the 0.5 here at about $35,000, which is also the gap on CME from a couple Fridays ago closure. So in that case, I think that's a good place to leave off on this analysis. Again, if you just want like the quick soundbite and you're on the higher term timeframes, daily stochastic momentum turns down below 29,350 to 29,400. That would confirm several drives of hidden bearish divergence along the way on the short term timeframes and likely have targets lower. And that would confirm, that nice little fake out. Until that happens though, until that very specifically happens, or at least, a 4-hour closure below about 29.5, 29.6 region, technically speaking, I should still be looking for Bitcoin to trade sideways and up, back up to the top side of the medium-term time frame range, and likely set up for that move that we just looked at over here on this chart in the coming 2 weeks or so, I suppose. Anyways, hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Bitcoin sirs and zers. I forgot to shill my Instagram, but Instagram is in the link description below. Watch out for scammers. That's my only account, so please be aware. And then also Bybit shill as well. Understand that Bybit is leverage trading. It's great if you already have a strategy. It's terrible if you do not. I strongly suggest to not trade at all, whether it be leverage or spot. If you do not have some sort of a strategy that you've tested, you can do that for free on the Krown Chain application or on Excel or on a piece of pen and paper, which is actually how I used to do it. and it works. But yeah, they're offering up some sort of a deposit bonus. Understand, the reason why exchanges do this because they want to get you hooked, man. They want to get you hooked. It's like a crack dealer giving you a free first hit. And hey, crack can be great, but you need to pace yourself and you need to do, I don't know if you back test on crack, but look, I'm getting way offhand here. I apologize. I'll leave it right there before I say anything more stupid. And there you go. Hopefully that was helpful, sirs and zers. Take care. Nice, man. Nice. All right. I'm sure the Finnish police are listening right now. Yeah, I would not suggest. Coffee gets the job done anyways. All right, let me just double check. I want to see if am I getting hit on a setup? Oh wow, actually just missed a setup. God damn it. Bad. Well, maybe we can hold on. Okay, there we go. I just need to open up this as well, and then we'll get into the comments in just a second here. I just want to make sure that I am doing this properly as it was intended. Okay, what's my projected P&L? There we go. All right, what are we looking at right here? Okay, that's actually pretty good. Okay, cool, I'll take it. Let's see. You have to deposit an entire Bitcoin on Bybit to get the 4,000 bonus. Pretty misleading pitch, if you ask me. Well, yes, you actually have to do something in order to get something. Crazy. That's fucking crazy, man. What do you mean? You actually have to pay for shit? Yeah, man. No, they of course they have something like that, man. That's going to be their prerogative. Like, obviously, they're an exchange. They have to operate for profit. I know people think that exchanges are evil and everything. Hey, maybe they are, but at the same time, understand that they are a business, of course, and they are offering up a service, and so it is expected that probably have to do something in the background for that. All right, sweet. Let me pull up the comments over here. I see SK's first. What's up, man? A nice what is that? A Moomy? Is that a Moomy? Like this. Oh, it's a hippo. It's not a Moomy. It's a hippo. Like the stream or we will fork you, says SK. Very much appreciated, man. We're actually at 715 already, man. This is, hey, this is pretty good. Pretty damn good right there. Let's see. Paul Garrett says, have you been listening to the new Kendrick Lamar album? I'm not a big Kendrick Lamar fan, actually. Everyone loved him like 10, 15 years ago. And because I had a lot of friends from Los Angeles, I heard a lot of his stuff. And, you know, some of it's okay, but it's not for me. It's not for me. I'm not saying that it's bad. Like, obviously, he's incredibly talented, but it's not for me. Anyways, you're looking at Solana on the 4-hour and daily. Solana on the 4-hour definitely did not catch as great of a move as Bitcoin yesterday. Looks like the LARP lines, though, are still working, I suppose. See what the daily looks like. You know, when I'm looking at Solana right here, I still look at the 382 in this case on a wick, well, maybe not a wick basis, on a closing basis still, as kind of like the line in the sand for this one. So, you know, I still think that you could actually get another move down around here. Maybe even Bitcoin does the same thing as well. And then it tries a move probably around about 55.5 or so. Daily is not really giving me too much in this case. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you close below yesterday's low, which is 48.15, I think that regardless of any sort of a short-term bounce, you know, likely at that, or I guess it's the same region. Yeah, it's literally the same region that I just kind of highlighted right here, basically 48 bucks. Then I'd be looking for probably your 44.5 to $43.5 region to get retested on a daily. That would kind of be the big one for me. Until then, you know, it's basically a range play going on right now. And yeah, I do think that it likely does something like this again, and then if you're going to be bullish, you see another wick down around there, pop specifically back up above your highs of, I think this was yesterday, yes it was, or at least for me, and then you get a nice move up to your medium-term time frame range highs. That would likely be alongside a Bitcoin move, you know, towards 31.5 if that were to happen, which means essentially we imply that the opposite is unlikely to happen, meaning that no closures below those specific regions that we were speaking about earlier, basically like 39, let's just call it 39.4 and kind of cut it to the middle for those time frames. Let's see. What are you laughing about? What's funny about that?
Says, I have no personality and no sense of humor.
Jesus. Okay. It's a tough way to go through life, man. I mean, I wish you well, dude. Like, you'd just be, you know, be better. It'd be better if you're doing well. Fair enough. Nick says, you know, he has a side duck. Avatar. Nice. Morning Krown. Can you check out XRP on the hourly and 4-hour and possible daily? Sure. I'm gonna guess it probably looks amazing as it always does. Actually, definitely better than Solana on that short-term move here, but same setup as Bitcoin, right? We still have lower highs in this case, still would be in the process of potentially putting in hidden bearish divergence, but it's all contingent upon essentially coming back down and closing below about 42 cents. So in the short-term timeframes, like an hourly, actually doesn't look too bad on an hourly right here. You know, I'd have to say the same thing as Bitcoin, right? It's like, you know, do I think that there's a potential for a major trap here or a major fake out? Yeah, absolutely. But until you get that closure below, you know, I don't look at that as actionable. So let's talk about what's likely to happen if that does happen. Again, below about 42 cents on a 4-hour. I would be looking for this one to retest your basically yesterday's lows, probably have another short-term bounce there, and probably fall on through somewhere close to like 36 to 35 cents or so. Daily. Going to have a drive of phantom bullish divergence populating here. If you do close here or higher by end of day, that would be another good signal for short term, looking for continuation to the range highs, which would be in this case about 45 to 46 or so. So again, it's very similar to Bitcoin here. As long as you're above that region, I actually don't look at that as super concerning. But the second that you start to close below that region, then all of that goes out the wayside. Downside is the more likely thing, the more likely resolution here. And like big, like significant downside in my opinion, if that does happen. All right, let me just double check over here. Did I get fill? When fill, sir? When fill? Hold on, fill my gap and fill my trap. Let's see. Okay, there we go. All right. Where was I? Yes, there I was. Matthew Kim says, request never stop the sippy sips. Appreciate that, man. Thank you for that, sir. Hey, what's up, Stefan Milicevic? Hey, Krown, how bad would Tether no longer equal a buck be? Keep hearing regulations might expose it. Thank you. Okay, so I always want to say when asked about Tether that obviously I'm not like a forensic accountant. I wouldn't know how to like look into their stuff, even if you gave me all the tools and insight into their like assets that they hold. But what I can say is just my experience in the last like 4 or 5 years within this market, which Tether has always been, it's always been like a question mark. Like people have always been saying Tether's bad. It's, you know, they're not backed 1-to-1, blah, 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 whatever it might be. for all of the commotion for 5 years now, nothing's come out of that. What something has come out of is fucking Luna. So I'm inclined to be a little bit skeptical when people bring that up. It's just again, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be right about it. I don't know. Now I'll say all that and also tell you the same. I'll also tell you this. Would I hold Tether? No, no, I wouldn't. So I don't, I don't have anything else to say about that. If you're not comfortable with the risk, don't hold it. And obviously, if in the situation where all of the Tether truthers are right about it, the whole market's going to get absolutely fucking nuked. So fair enough, right? It'd be terrible. It'd be absolutely terrible. So to answer your question straight up, it would be market devastation. First, however, what you'd probably see? You'd probably see this, which is what you saw actually in 2018. You'd probably see a major upside move. Let me show you over here. Let me actually bring up the exchange in question. It was Finex. I remember this like it was yesterday. It was right fucking here, baby. Right fucking here. In one day in October of 2018, the Tether truth came out, right? And it did something like this. It went up like literally 25% in an hour or something, and then immediately came back down, obviously sold off hard after that. So, if Tether really did have an issue, the natural response would likely to be to run into Bitcoin first and then run out of Bitcoin, right? So that's what you kind of get out of this over here. So there'd probably be an initial major spike up, and then it'd very likely get faded, immediately if that were to happen, and then market gets absolutely wrecked after that would be kind of what I'd be thinking. Webby says NASDAQ, or if you can look at NASDAQ 100 month. I mean, I can look at either one, man, but whichever one you're more interested in. Maybe NASDAQ 100 is probably what you're more interested in, since it seems like a more directed question. Whoops, and maybe if I spelled it right, that would be good. And maybe if I spelled it even more right, that would be even better. Okay, I actually, okay, there we go, NDX. Okay. So you don't want to look at what's it called? I'm trying to handle this trade over here. What's it called? You don't want to look at the futures for it, which is what I typically look at. Anyways, you want to look at monthly and quarterly. So so very high term timeframes. Again, this is not relevant to the short term. This is very high term timeframes. In the short term, this looks like it's trying to put in a bit of a short term bottom right there for what it's worth. Monthly and quarterly, however, look, I think it's very, very likely maybe around end of this year to test somewhere down around about 11,000 on the monthly. Like this is we expect this chart to go generally up and to the right over time, but this one went a little bit too much up and to the right. And I put out a chart on S&P a few days ago. It got a lot of hate on Twitter, which was interesting to watch. I'm just posting setups and shit that I'm looking at. It's weird that people get kind of weird about it, I guess. Anyways, what I think is a bit of a sombering detail right here is to realize that even if it did come down to about $11,000, that's literally just where it was about a couple of years ago in November of 2020. So understand that, it's really not that ridiculous, in my opinion, to conceive of. The quarterly, I think, is a lot more clear in this case, in the sense that, hey, we do have some pretty significant bearish divergence going on right now. I think it's incredibly likely to see somewhere around 10,500 to 11,000 bucks, probably around maybe around end of year or early 2023. In like worst case scenario, everything gets fucking ground out and nuked to the ground, probably somewhere close to like 8,000 to 9,000 basically. That's obviously very far away, and there's probably gonna be bounce in between. But in this case, yeah, I do think that the downside's not over. I think that we are about to set up for a nice bear market rally right here and do something like this, and then probably come back down. But ultimately, I do think that the general direction is to the downside, actually. So, yeah, man, hopefully that was helpful. And let me just double check over here. Oh, I missed my entry, motherfucker. Hey, don't chastise me, man. Don't chastise me. You're supposed to be supportive. I see Super Googly Lee just jumped in. He says, can we have a look at Facebook? Yeah, actually, Facebook was one of the stocks that I traded the most. Microsoft and Facebook, actually. 191. And what time frame are you looking at, daily and weekly? And last time we spoke, Mr. Googly Lee, you said that you had a life-changing trade in Luna, which is amazing, man. Hopefully that was closed in profit. I imagine you very likely got that. That's incredible, man. Okay, so what was it? Daily and weekly? Did I get that right? Yes, daily and weekly. Okay, weekly right here. Again, very similar to what we just looked at on the NASDAQ. It's like, yeah, I think that you're putting a bit of a low for what it's worth right now, but probably lean into a bear market rally, probably something like this. Probably something like that. Daily is pretty ugly actually still. So, am I wrong about that? Could very well be. We have another drive of phantom hidden divergence right there. So probably short term comes back down somewhere around about 180 or so, and then tries for a bounce there. I will be wrong about a bear market rally here before continuation to new lows first. If you do see a weekly closure below that 180 number, at that point, I'd probably be looking for moves down towards the 160 to 150-ish region, or sorry, 145. What is this? Sorry, 150 to 160-ish region if that were to happen. Until then, I do think it's a little more likely to bounce out here first and then roll over. Nice little bear market rally would be good for everyone. Philson, what's up, man? BUSD is pretty good too. What Binance USD? Fair enough, man. I will trust you on that one. Anyways, we have Solverine. What's up, man? Nicholas Taleb is a blunt motherfucker. Honestly, I really dislike him as a person, but I do like his books. His books are great, but him as a person, I think he's just incredibly unaware, extremely Anyways, we don't need to talk about that, man. I don't even fucking know him, so obviously, why should I be talking about him? Mind checking Yara on OSE. What the fuck is this? OSEBX? Oh, this is Oslo Exchange, I'm guessing. Daily, weekly. Happy weekend to you as well. Good chart. Working its way sideways and up here. I'd probably be looking for this one to retest around, 490 to $500 in the coming month or two. In the coming few weeks, daily. Okay, I don't really have a strong opinion on the daily. I'd be looking for another pullback down to like 450 if you do close below yesterday's low, which is like 463. But until then, I feel a lot more comfortable on the weekly here. I think this one's probably going to retest around the highs. Monthly, pretty good. Just a general up and to the right chart. So always going to like that. The question is, do we set up for a greater pullback into another higher low or not? I'm inclined to say this one probably does bust on through to the upside. Actually, now that I look at a 4 hour, yeah, I do think that this one does move up first. Doesn't pull back first. Something like that. Cool. Jesse Lewis says Thungala Resources TJ on the, okay, so this is Japanese exchange. Okay. Thank you for specifying. No, this is on London. If you're looking at Thungela, that would be, or sorry, oh no, it's right here. Okay, what country is this? Is this Caribbean or something? Or it looks like Jamaica maybe? I don't know the flags. Daily and 4 hour, okay. Daily, good. Actually, really fucking good. What the hell? And 4 hour, might have one more pullback down to like 24,450 or 24,500 or so. But ultimately, I do quite like this chart long term. There's nothing really, like, I wouldn't be looking for a top here unless you start to trade below about 22.4. At that point, I'd probably be looking for greater pullbacks down somewhere around 19,000. But for right now, this one's trending up into the right, man. I think this one's actually getting ready for a breakout here. If you see any sort of a weekly closure today, because you're going to be closing the weekly today, above about let's just say 28,000, I'd be looking for new highs, man. I'd be looking for a trendy move into new all-time highs. Monthly says up is the direction. Yeah, other than that, don't really have anything else to add. Only problems below 22,400 until then, bullish. Let's see. I see Jor Broder says, good morning, Krown. What's up, man? Bull bear, are certain trading styles better suited for beginners? Are certain trading styles suited better for beginners? I think it's better to simplify when you're a beginner. The one thing that I discounted when I was first learning trading was to not like was to look lower. Like, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is to simplify. Honestly, man, the first thing that I learned is probably the most important thing. And if you only learned this, you'd be fine. And it's trend. Trend matters most. Trend, in my opinion, is the number one, bar fucking none. There's nothing else that comes even close to it. Volatility would be a bit of a second, and then momentum is like a distant, it's not even like third, it's like number 5, but there's no 3 or 4, right? So I would suggest trend. It's not going to be the most sexy style. It's not going to be like optimized fully, but it will be it will be consistent and it will be good. And if you can actually just learn how to identify a trend, it's a skill that will always be necessary for trading. And it's probably the easiest thing to learn how to do. In fact, I even taught Elsa how to do it. And if you just want like a quick way to do it, just put it on a fucking line chart, look at where the stop and reverse points are. Are we getting higher highs or higher lows, or are we getting lower highs and lower lows? It should, as always, be obvious as all hell. On a 4 hour right here, where are your highs, where are your lows? Low, high, low, high, low, high. Nothing in my opinion. Low and then potential high right here. If it's not obvious as fuck, it's probably neither, and it's not worth documenting. Just personal opinion. Anyways. Strategies I'm running at the moment are all mixed up, scalps, low term time. Okay, so when you're first starting, you should kind of play around and just, explore different strategies. Again, while not risking equity on your account. I should actually record this video. Okay, let me actually record this. All right, here we have a really good question from Jor Broder, who is saying, what is a good trading style that is suited for beginners? The strategies I am running at the moment are all mixed up, scalps, low term time frame, trend, medium time frame, works good, but wondering if you reckon focusing on one is better. Yes. Okay. So the first thing that I learned as a trader was trend. Trend is the most important thing. Everything boils down to trend. If you understand trend, you understand basically all patterns that matter, in my opinion, and you understand something that will never be fully optimized. It'll never be the best, the best possible strategy ever, but it will be a usable strategy. So one thing that kind of stands the test of time, pretty much no matter what. I think it's the number one thing, at least in my opinion. Volatility is like a bit of a distant second, and then momentum is like a third, but it's not really third. It's like number 5, but there's no 3 or 4, as I kind of just repeated myself there. But basically, when you are first beginning, to kind of address the rest of your question, it is a good idea to not just learn trend, but to kind of play around with different time frames, play around with different sort of strategies and styles. That meaning like scalping, that meaning trend trading, that means swing trading, that mean maybe even long-term investing as well, and see what gels with your trading sort of personality. Because one of the other important things, and we were actually discussing this in the Discord earlier today, but one of the most important things when picking a strategy is something that you can actually be, or pick something that you can actually be adherent to. it's like diet, right? You can always find the best diet on paper, but can you adhere to it, or can you make it easy for yourself to adhere to? So the best way to handle that equation, beside what we already spoke about, is to do the very unsexy work, which I always go back towards, but this is literally where you can actually make a fucking living for yourself. So I think that is actually, useful and valuable. But you can go and check out the trading journal. We have it on the Krown trading application. There is a link in the description below. It's 100% free to do as well. You can also do pen and paper if that, if computers don't work well for you, or you can use Excel or Google Sheets or whatever the hell. All of these are free materials. On here, we just have it streamlined for you, and you should test the results that you get alongside these sort of different sort of strategies that you're testing out. So you can also have data to reference it against, because there might be strategies where you just prefer it to be operating on like a lower time basis, meaning not just like the time frame, but how long it actually takes the trade to play out, which this will do for you. It'll calculate it for you. Because some people like myself, I despise going to bed while being in a position. So for me, if I'm testing out a trade strategy, and it has like an average time from start to end of like, maybe even multiple days, it's not fucking for me. It doesn't matter how good it is. I'm not fucking holding it, man, because it'll disrupt my sleep. I cannot operate well without good sleep, and for me, that's a non-negotiable. For you might sleep like a baby in position. I don't know. That's, again, your sort of personal preference, or again, redundant right there, but you get my point, basically, in the sense that you need to play around first. Although I would say trend is always going to be good, or it's a one thing that kind of stands the test of time. And it'll always have some sort of an interplay, or at least add some value to any strategy to at least understand it. So hopefully that was helpful, and there you go for that, sir. Cool. Let me just plop down over here. Let's see where we're at now. I think we're at Echoes the End. He says, Ben Cowan mentioned alts bleed versus Bitcoin around macro lows. No, it's not your niche, but is Bitcoin easier to trade in high term timeframes in a bear market? I mean, higher term timeframes aren't necessarily easy to trade. It's just things happen slower there, so you can kind of see them far in advance. Kind of like two questions there. Alts generally bleed versus Bitcoin. I mean, alts generally bleed versus Bitcoin in a bear market, yes. And you can see that very easily by Bitcoin dominance, which I've been extremely fucking bullish on for a while now. And I'm going to continue to be even more bullish on it. I think this one's working its way well above 50% in the next like half year to a year. This is very clearly a macro low to me right here. We even have a bit of an inverted head and shoulders in the making with those three spike lows and that volume signature, and with all of the momentum also just kind of pointing up right here. Yeah, I'm looking for this one first to pop up somewhere around 48 to 48 and a half, and then very likely bust on through. Maybe like later this year, earlier into 2023, and probably put in like some big moves into the 50s. I think most altcoins are going to get absolutely fucking shellacked. There's going to be some that live and stand the test of time, probably the same ones that we've generally been seeing over the years, like Ethereum. Ethereum seems to actually stand the test of time, but most altcoins are, there's going to be a fucking very rude awakening, in my opinion, for a lot of the influencers who have been, shilling these altcoins incessantly over the past year, because obviously everything works in a bull market. In a bear market, not so much. Not so much. Anyways, Jesse Lewis is next. Says Thungella Resources. Yeah, we did that one. Dammy says, please, can you take a look at Aave for me, sir? I can, but without any time frames, like, I don't know how useful it's going to be, man. But sure. Okay, Aave. I guess maybe 4-hour daily is what people typically want. Same setup as Bitcoin right here, right? I am still inclined to say the upside is more likely. The upside is more likely, granted that we do not initiate the failure conditions in the short-term timeframes. That would be, in this case, with any sort of a full hour or even just a tick lower than, I'm guessing this is 86 and a half bucks right here. Until then, I actually do think that short term it probably does put in a move north of a little bit north of $100. If you do put in a trap here, then once that prior condition that we just overlaid is present, I'd be looking for extremely likely another move towards 75 and probably even lower than that over time. And I wouldn't say anything else. Yeah, because we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves right here. But yeah, until that condition is met, I actually do look cautiously sideways and up. That's what I'm theoretically supposed to do in the way that I'm kind of playing looking at the strategies that I would be kind of playing on here. So hopefully that was helpful, ma'am. Let's see, where was I? John Peterson. Yes, Mr. Peterson, TRX daily in a short from 12 cents. Okay. Remember this one looked quite different than most other things a couple days ago when we looked at it last. You're in a short from 12 cents. I think this one's turning the corner right here, man. It held its lows. It had its chance to break down. I think it was okay to be bearish over here. I think that this one's popping up, maybe not necessarily exactly to your entry. I mean, Jesus Christ, man, when did you short this one? It hasn't seen 12 cents for like, it hasn't seen 12 cents since November, man. Holy shit. You literally shorted the top of this over that. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, kind of have to take profit. Okay. If I was trading this, I kind of take profits because, you're like literally like 60-70% down from your entry. That's amazing. In this case, I actually do think that you're working your way sideways and up here. This one's putting in a low as far as I'm concerned, or at least in the short term. So I do think that this one pops up somewhere around like a little north of 8 cents, maybe back to the highs of this rally here at 8.8. Is it going to go all the way back up to your entry? I don't know if I'd necessarily feel comfortable saying that, but in my opinion, there's no reason at all whatsoever to be potentially letting go of a shit ton of profits right here, man. Like, that's, personally speaking, I look at that as greedy. That's just personally, unless if you had like some sort of a strategy that I was telling you in this case. But ultimately, yeah, I do think that this one does have a bit of short-term upside here. I don't know if that's going to be relevant to you or not. I mean, you're still like massively in profit, which is great. Cool. I think we are at John Duty. He's looking at Dow USD on KuCoin. Okay. Dow USD. Okay. I'm guessing it's this thingy. And you're looking at it daily and a weekly. You think this will breach 50 cents to $1 in the coming weeks? Sorry. Short term, I do think that you got one more bounce to the upside. But that's not necessarily coming weeks. I mean, you do have some bullish divergence forming right here. And that could very easily get you back up to like 180 to 185. Obviously, that doesn't really change anything for the coming weeks, though. 50 cents. I mean, that like, look, it's a bad chart, yes, and I do think that generally you're going to be trending down there, but in the next few weeks, I think that would be too short of a time frame for me. I think you probably hit around those targets, $1 and then 50 cents, maybe more so around like end of summer earliest, probably more like end of year, in my opinion. I think you're probably going to put in a bit of a bear market rally here. Maybe after one more swipe of the lows and then roll over. Things seem a little bit too easy with kind of rolling over from here. That's just an opinion. That's not real trading or technical analysis. But I generally think that, yes, your targets will get met, but within that time frame of a few weeks, that's not what I'd feel comfortable in saying. I'd feel more comfortable saying end of summer, but I've never been good with timing. So yeah, take that as you will. I'm gonna take a sip of this water while you marinate on those thoughts, man. By the way, we found this new show on HBO. It's called Righteous Gemstone with Danny McBride. It's fucking incredible, actually. It's really, really incredible. If you're a fan of Eastbound and Down, definitely check it out. Similar sort of vibe, similar sort of setup. Big bull flag. This is a big bull flag. Oh man, I got news for you. Oh, it's coming from the bull. Man, I've never seen someone so look at everything so fucking bullish no matter what. No, actually I have, man. I have several Twitter accounts for that I follow. It's absolutely amazing, man. And they have so many followers. I would imagine simply because people just, they want to feel like it's all going to be okay. Bull run starting soon, baby. Bull run starting soon. It's like 6 months ago. Bull run starting soon. Fuck. Let's see where. Yes, I see. Astrological Ether Tarot says, Adam 4 on daily. Thanks. Did you start to feel a bit different? Did you start to feel a difference eating liver on a regular basis? I think kind of, maybe a little bit more energy. I know that it kind of helps with that because it has a shit ton of B vitamins, but, honestly, I like the taste, man. It tastes like a fucking brownie to me. Like, it tastes amazing. Anyways, you're looking at a 4 on daily. Again, same sort of setup here as Bitcoin, I suspect. We do have potential phantom bullish divergence going on. So if you do see a closure, especially above about $11.50, I would be looking for this one to retest its medium-term timeframe range highs at 12.5. But at the same time, in the short-term timeframes, you do have that sort of potential trap-ish situation going on, but it's not confirmed just yet. Just like Bitcoin, it won't be confirmed until you're below 1085 on a 4-hour closure. Below there, yeah, come back down and retest, 9.5, maybe even 880 or so, maybe even make new lows from there. But for right now, I give it the benefit of the doubt until that condition is met. That's just a personal preference. But yeah, liver is amazing, man. Absolutely fucking amazing. Elsa hates liver, but that's why I bought another kilo of it this morning. And African Crypto Warlord, good morning, man. African Crypto Warlord is now a is now a local celebrity as well. It's beautiful. KNC 4 and 24. Gotcha. Okay, so this is Kyber Network Derp. Look, I'm not gonna cook them until you leave. Okay. Different chart.
They're not.
Yes, and anyways, before I was so rudely interrupted over here, okay, yeah, 4 hour and 24 hour. Okay, so this one, a much different chart than most things, right? A much different chart than most things. This area over here, this is a bouncy area. It really wouldn't be asking for too much to even see this one bounce up over the next few weeks to like 320-ish, maybe. But I think this one's done doing anything like consistent to the upside for a long time. Daily, am I getting any obvious signals right here? Look, it's very likely to put in a local high, whether it be right here at 260 or maybe a little bit higher at like 3.25. But I think at best you're ranging here, to be quite frank with you. 4 hour says probably short-term pullback relatively soon, but any pullback that fails to go below 210 is just another higher low. So I just look at that as likely to probably get maybe one more drive of continuation and then come back down and fall into what, hopefully for your sake, assuming that you're long this asset, is an accumulation range between about like 2.25 to as low as 1.25. It should be said though, this one has had one of the better responses after last week's Dumpola party, so that actually does mean something. And to be fair, it has held its macro lows since 2019. Problem is, and I hate this about some charts, or it's just not a good sign long term, that this chart has not retested or especially traded above its prior 2018 highs, which is a really bad sign long term, just in my opinion. So if I had to call it, you know, you might get another move up like this, but ultimately I think you're doing something like this for a long time at minimum, best case scenario. Again, personal opinion right there. Ooh, I think I might get another shot at this one. Let's see, where am I? 20. Okay. Yeah, I think I will take. Let's try that. Okay, cool. Let me plot back in over here. Okay, let's see. Mr. Venegas says, I've been here 5 months, but says 3. No, it says members for 6 months, actually. So we're all wrong. We're all wrong. LOL, it doesn't matter, but can you check out ZRX on a hourly and 4-hour daily? Yes. Symbol ZRX. This one was another very popular one in 2017, 2018 as well. Definitely remember this one. Let's see. Again, a different chart than most things. Had a pretty good daily pop up yesterday. Long term, not a fan of this chart, obviously, but do I think that you pop up more on the daily? Yeah, I think it's definitely possible. Like 50 cents is certainly not out of the question here. 4-hour time frame. Just want to see a 4-hour closure above about 46 cents, and then yes, I'd be looking for that next move up to the daily area, which again was about just north of 50 cents, somewhere between 50 and 52 cents. Until then, you know, let's say Bitcoin puts in a trap move, which I think is, you know, again, it's not confirmed just yet, but you know, it's definitely possible. That would imply this one back down below 40 cents. If that happens, you're very likely going to retest around your, you know, 33 to 30 even cent lows, if that were to happen. But for right now, actually having one of the better response, especially in the last 24 hours, which is, you know, relatively good sign, obviously. Okay. Yes. Okay. Go up. All right. let me take another sip of this. There we go. Okay. And what are we doing on time? Henry. Yes. BNX USD. Okay. This is okay. Okay. I'm thinking of like banks, but no, this is BNX, some sort of a cryptocurrency. 4-hour daily. 4-hour again looks massively different than most things we've seen today. That's for certain. Daily, I do think that you're generally putting in a macro top here. The question is, do you get one more pop up towards like 130 or maybe even 133? That I don't have a strong opinion on, but I do have a strong opinion on this being like a major macro top. Yeah, I can't really, well, it's hard. Actually, it might be a little bit difficult to say that just because like your higher term timeframes don't have enough time to really populate. So maybe I am wrong about that. I'll be wrong about that, and you can expect new highs on this rally if you see sort of 4-hour closures above about 134. Until then, I do think that this one short term is probably actually coming down and tries for another base here, tries for another bounce maybe, something like that, and then probably keels on over in the coming weeks and sees back down somewhere around like those $90 lows, maybe even lower over time as well. But I think we're maybe getting ahead of ourselves right now. I do suspect, though, that this is more than likely a major top right here. And I wouldn't be surprised at all to see this one back down towards like 70 to 60 bucks in the coming, you know, maybe like late summer. Again, I will be wrong on that, and that'll be completely invalidated above about, I think it was 134, especially on like a higher term time frame closure there. Uno momento again. Okay, can we? Let's see. When fill, sir? When fill? Actually, I think that is unnecessary. We have strippers here?
No, had.
We had strippers here.
Yeah.
When's
Naked girls.
naked girls are here?
Mm-hmm.
Where?
So maybe they'll fill your gap.
Maybe they'll fill your gap. Where are these naked girls you're speaking of?
Africans just banned.
Oh, African crypto world that just nuked the party. You're too late. Henry Weinecker is back again. He's looking at QMall. Okay, QMall versus Ethereum. This is going to be bizarre. Let's see. Similar chart to actually that last one in the short term. Whoops. Again, like not bad on a daily. It's just I'm skeptical of these altcoin charts that are doing something like significantly different than the rest of the market. I'm inclined, however, to say that it probably does come down to like whatever this level is right here. 22,950,000 basically, something like that. For on a 4-hour short term down, probably coming back down to your range lows at 350 or 3.5 million, something like that. Only bullish if you can trade back above this high right here. I know that that's not too helpful because that literally is the high, but yeah, don't have anything else to add on top of that. Ooh, I think there's actually going to be an opportunity here relatively soon too. Cool. We actually already did XRP, in case you're wondering. Anyways, BK is looking at APUST. Motherfucker, man. I did not say that. APUST on the 4-hour, 12-hour, and daily. I don't know if there's going to be much of a daily. I know that this one is pretty damn new. Definitely relatively weak. Definitely relatively weak. If Bitcoin shows any weakness, this one probably comes all the way back down towards like 6.5 to 6.25. Short term, I'm looking for this one to come back down to 772 or like where all these kind of wick lows are right here. For the hopium is that you put in a wick low there and then bounce back up specifically above basically today's high, anything like that, and I'd look for a nice move back up towards these highs right here, like 9 to 920 or so. And any sort of a break below here, basically like yesterday's low, I'm guessing. Yeah, yesterday's low. I'm looking for this one to have like big moves down at that point. Other than that, daily, yeah, weak, definitely weak, man. This one might even roll over without Bitcoin rolling over. Pretty ugly right there. Let's see. Capotico says, can we check near on the hourly and 4-hour? Sure. Haven't had any recorded videos today. Let's see. Another pretty weak one in the short term. Maybe we record a video on this one. Here we have near protocol symbol NEAR versus the dollar. This is one that we've been following for a long time now, and it didn't just hit our downside targets, like it absolutely nuked them, which is kind of insane right there. Anyways, in this case, what are we looking at? We're looking at an hourly and 4-hour, and then we'll actually just do a general overview on it. So 4-hour time frame, definitely weak in the short-term time frames. We see a slew of lower highs right here and lower lows, so it is still downtrending. It's already weak in a pretty weak market. So if Bitcoin does put in its sort of potential trappy-ish movement, then I'd expect this one to get hit a little bit more with targets down to $5. That would be confirmed on this one with any sort of a move below yesterday's low, which is 556 and change. At that point, I look for that prior $5 wick low to probably get retested, and maybe even rolls over from there and retest somewhere down in like the mid to low $4 regions. That I don't have a super strong opinion on. My other strong opinion is on that if you do not break below there, just put in a wick down like that, and then specifically pop back up above. I'm guessing this is yesterday's high. I would be looking for this one to test the medium-term time frame range highs and put in a move short-term to like 740, maybe even 750, somewhere around here, if that were to happen. Daily, ugly, but again, if that does happen, I'd confirm a bit of probably a bear market rally with targets extended up to like 8.5 potentially. I think best it does to the upside though is about 9.5. And then if we go down to like very low term time frames, short term, yeah, I do think it's going to test down around here. So if you do fail this region, then, you know, much lower, or I guess much lower, depending upon your disposition. If you do put in a quick wick and then bounce back up again above these highs, that's when I would say your corrective bounce is likely to occur. Other than that, daily, you know, it's working off extreme conditions. You would naturally have some bullish divergence on daily RSI as well. I don't think this is going to be like a reversal to like a bull market or anything, extremely unlikely, but I do think, you know, it's probably more likely to bounce out of this region after one more retest of the lows. But hey, invalidations are said in that case for tests lower if that happens. And again, if Bitcoin, you know, trades below its relevant levels that we spoke about earlier, you know, I'd be very much looking for near to get hit in a more harsh manner. Daily stochastic momentum is downside angle as long as you're below $6.5, not fucking good. 4-hour is going to turn down below 580, which you're actually above right now, so that's better than not. 12-hour is still down below about $6.5, so this one has a lot of pressure down right here, man. If I was just looking at this one, I'd say very, very likely to test to the downside. You know, you do have a bit of a descending triangle going on right here too, so, you know, if that does play out, $4.5 or 460 is kind of where I'd be looking for. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for near. Weak there, man. Very, very weak. All right, what do we got? 5 more minutes. Okay, nice. Mr. Venegas is back. He's looking at PBX. Okay, PBX. Gotcha. Okay, I'm guessing it's this thingy. Peribus on KuCoin. 1 and 4 hour. Okay, gotcha. Good. Again, short term, I'm probably going to retest around these range highs, like 4150 to 4250 to 4350, somewhere around here. Somewhere around there. This one actually having a decent response right here. While I would be looking for a short-term pullback from there, pullback not the same thing as reversal. In fact, this one would be in an uptrend at that point, and it'd probably be extending targets towards just north of 0.5 of a cent, somewhere around the 200 simple in this case. Hourly, same thing. Yeah, short-term good. daily, definitely a different look. Not a fan of it. I think best case scenario to the upside, it probably sees like around 6-ish. But that's probably not super relevant to you. Okay, where are we at? Where are we at over here? All right, yes, we're good. Okay, cool. Let's see. KNC, yes, we got that one as well. Nice. Yes, I'm just reading Venegas again. He's right below that one. Oh, Bico. Where the fuck do you find these things, man? Okay, 1-4 and daily. Similar to that last chart we looked at, having a good pound for pound response. Short-term range has somewhere around about just under 80 cents. In this case, I do look at that as a range resolution as well. If you're on a 4-hour time frame, that relevant region would be like 81.5 cent. If you do start to close above there, I'd extend target significantly towards the 200, which is actually just around what's it called? Almost a buck. Ooh, and I just got hit over here. Nice. Okay, let me actually get ready. Right there we go. Lovely. All right, cool. Okay, cool. Okay, we got it over there. And you're also looking at an hourly as well. An hourly is short term, probably likely to come down. You're probably looking at a move relatively soon here too, with BBWP on the floor. Anywhere down around 68 cents is fine. I would only invalidate short term continuation to the upside if you trade below the range lows here, which is about 64.5 cents. That would be a bit more concerning. Until then, generally okay. Okay, and all right, we're good over there too. Very, very nice. All right, let's see. Jesus Vargas. Wait, what? Did you change your name? No, we have Venegas and Vargas. Holy shit! I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. That sounds terrible. Morning, Miss Krown. Sir, Ethereum daily and weekly. Yeah, this would be one worth recording as well. We didn't even get.
Just a general overview.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, we can definitely do that. Okay. All right. Here we have Ethereum versus the dollar. But we'll do a general overview on this one in the short-term timeframes, looking like we do have a potential for that sort of fake out situation, similar to Bitcoin right here. It's not confirmed just yet, but is contingent upon trading and closing below 1991.5. If that does happen, we will naturally have another drive of hidden bearish divergence right here. I think all the way up to a 6-hour probably. Let's just double check. Yeah, it would be there as well. And then I'm curious to see if momentum starts to turn down on these timeframes as well. Yeah, below 2035 definitely, which we're already below. 6-hour is going to turn down below 1925, so a little bit more confidence inducing right there. And 4-hour shows below 1945. And then what about the daily? Daily turns down below 2000. So higher term time frames kind of keeling over here. Short term time frames still giving a bit of hopium, but below 1991, even on a short term time frame closing basis, I would be looking for this one at minimum to retest these lows right here, which is about 1900 even. Probably another short term bounce there. And then I suspect it probably does roll over and retest around a low 1800s if that were to happen. But again, that's all contingent upon confirming a local high right here. And I would not confirm a local high until you do close again below that region. And for the other side, I would actually even be looking for continuation to the top side of your medium-term time frame range highs, although short-term certainly looking unlikely. In fact, short-term, this one looks like it really wants to come down here and at least test 1990. But if you do trade above, and especially close above 2050, basically the high of yesterday, I'm guessing. Sorry, actually this morning in this case, I would be looking for a nice move towards about 21, maybe even 2150 or so. And this one probably puts in a nice bear market rally from there. And that can actually extend quite a fair bit into the coming weeks with targets up towards somewhere between about 23 to maybe even as much as 24.5. I do think that upside is kind of limited here, but ultimately there is something to be aware of on the daily that would supersede a lot of the things that I pointed out earlier. And that would be daily RSI would naturally have a drive of bullish divergence actually, but that is not confirmed until you close above about, I would say to be safe, like 2090. And at that point, yes, I would be looking for that move in the next few weeks, probably around early June to pop up somewhere between like 23 to 24.5, and then come back to it later. Other than that, higher term timeframes still pretty ugly here. Heavy pressure down obviously on the 5-day and the weekly. I'm inclined to say that this one probably does, over a long enough time of period, maybe around the end of summer probably does come down more, to be fair. But the question to me is, do we put another bear market rally from here or not? And again, I'd have that contingent upon that prior region. So hopefully that's helpful. And there you go for Ethereum. Okay. Oh, and I did forget a weekly for you, but let's just double check. Actually, yeah, you should close them. It's already we've already been here for an hour and 30 minutes. That's insane. Yeah, interesting. All right, cool. Let's see. Adam Kalane says Upstart UPST. Okay, UPST. I'm guessing this is a stock. Yes, it is on NAS. Okay. Again, it looks like it put in a nice low here. You know, you typically do get a pity bounce when you retest your all-time lows. Like, that's not a good thing. It's a fucking pity bounce for a reason, obviously. But I wouldn't be surprised if it extends the rally maybe a little bit more towards 60 to 62.5. But I ultimately would be probably looking for this one to trade lower in the coming months after that. 46 looking for best exit. Wait, what? Oh, so you're short. Yeah, if you're short, you know, I'd actually be, if this one does put in a local high here or maybe around low 60s, I'd probably be looking for this one to come down, you know, more close to like 35 to maybe $40. Yeah, something like that. I think 46 is a little bit, yeah, is a little bit less relevant. I mean, if you take out yesterday's low, which is 44, more than likely to come back down to the mid 30s, I'd say. And Bitcoin looking like it wants to do its own little trapola right here. Is it going to do it? Is it going to do it? I think it might just do it, man. I think it might just do it. I think it might just do it, man. But we'll see. It's kind of right at the edge of where you would be a little bit more concerned with it. Yeah, I'll pin your message, sir. Where is it? When message? Did you post your message? Ah, there it is. I see. Okay, it takes a few seconds to line up there. Okay, can you do XRP? We kind of already did it. I'll just briefly go to it for a second. XRP, USD, and I mean, that would be a really good place for another lower high. Again, big problems below 42 cents. At that point, I'm looking for this one to roll over again, mid to low 30s, if that happens. Until then, I guess hopium is somewhat alive, but I'd be careful with it, especially if Bitcoin rolls over here. Everything's going to come down pretty fucking hard, I suspect. Julio Yu says, do you use PAR stop and reverse indicator? I do not, no. Dixie. Doesn't mean that it can't be good. It's just I don't follow it. Dixie, again, I do think that this one on the higher term time frame set up for a pullback. Pullback, not the same thing as reversal here, but, you know, we've hit some pretty macro targets at this point. You know, I do think it's rather likely to come back down somewhere around like 102, maybe a little bit lower than that. Probably gives a general reprieve to markets, and then we're sway upwards and onwards from there. But yeah, higher term time frame still massively bullish on your quarterly, still massively bullish on your monthly. Just, you know, short term pullbacks. If you're on a daily, short term continuation of the downside, probably back down around these lows from 5th of May, 102 and 30 or so. Adam Kalane says S triple Qs. Okay. On NAS, daily, weekly. Daily, actually not bad. Weekly, pretty bad long term. Oh yeah, of course, this is a short index or an inverse. You know, I'd be looking for another bounce off of like, another pullback after 64 to 65 or so. But you know, is this one put in a low here or not? I mean, that's a real question. Like, you're seeing some pretty extremes on volume there, and that's typically when you do make your lows. I'm inclined to say that this one probably does bust through over a long enough period of time. I know you didn't ask for a monthly, but I feel inclined to look at it. Yeah, I do think that this one will move its way up north of 80, actually, over a long enough period of time. And actually, I think it might even happen from here. In fact, I wouldn't invalidate short-term bullishness until you trade back down below about $50. At that point, I look for a correction first to 45. Maybe at most 42, but ultimately I think that this one's getting ready to bust. I think this one's actually quite ready to have some busting action right here. Probably like end of summer, or sorry, mid to end of summer. I'd be looking for more continuation actually. Maybe we go back to the quarterly just to see. Yeah, I think that this is your bottom for a while. Also getting bullish divergence for the first time ever, although can't really measure it out too much. Cool. Vic, what one did you want to look at for Vic 00007? Can you type that, please? Oh, sell. Okay, I see. Sell frame. Oh God, what the fuck is this? Daily and weekly. Bad and worse. The only thing I'd be looking for here is pity bounces, man. Even that doesn't really feel like there's too much hopium with them. You know, I think best case scenario is that you pop back up towards like 40 cents and put in a local low here and set up for a bear market rally and maybe work your way up into the mid to low 50s. But long term, I don't think that this one will ever do anything interesting to the upside like sustained. I think best case scenario, let's say Bitcoin gets a massive bear market rally towards like 35. This one maybe gets up to like 60 to 70 cents and probably puts in its next macro lower high there. If I had to call it right now, though, it actually does look a little bit more poised to bounce from this region. But again, if Bitcoin turns down and you see it below those specific regions we highlighted earlier, this one probably goes alongside with, if I had to guess, man. Yes, okay. And yes, okay. Back on over here. Kenny Renardi says, "Hey Krown, what's up, man? Gal or Gala? I'm gonna try this one. Okay, it's probably this one. Just Gal. Hourly and 4 hour. Gotcha. Okay, hourly down. Looking for this one to come back down to 560. 4 hour. I mean, this one's so fucking close to confirming a local high right here, man. It's already got the hidden bearish divergence as well. I think this one's most likely to come down to 515 to 520ish region. And then hoping is that you put another bounce there, but this is clear redistribution now. So definitely on the relatively weak side, personal opinion. Oh, the Dominicans are back. My fucking man, Mr. DeCamps. You let it slide. Yeah, we can let it slide for Mr. DeCamps. I've been well as well, man. You're looking at MKR on daily or weekly. Okay, MKR USD. Let's see what we got right here. I guess Binance maybe. 4 hour bad, but that's, yeah, you're looking at daily and weekly. It's bad on a daily, bad on a weekly. I guess the hopium is that, you know, you come back down to like 11 or 1200 or so, basically the open of last week, and then pop up from there. I don't think that's going to happen though. I think this one's probably trades sideways. Even if it popped back up to like 1900, that to me is, it's like probably going to be a top. In fact, this just looks like a top right here. I think this one's topping out again. You know, if you see any sort of a daily closing lower low than 1366, just basically yesterday's low, I'm looking for this one to come back down to like 1200 at best, maybe more like 1100, to be quite frank with you. Weekly, ugly. Nothing bullish about this thing as long as you're below last week's high. Even then, it's like pretty questionable, man. Let's see what the lower term timeframes look. Lower term timeframes look like they're poised to at least come back down and test like 1350, 1360. I don't know if that's relevant to you though. But I think that's a good place to leave off on this stream though. Cool. We are an hour and 40 minutes into here, and I think it's time for me to go and eat, and then it's time to go and do some work actually. Anyways, Bitcoin again, rapidly approaching some pretty critical regions over here. I want to reiterate my stance that Bitcoin below, even on a 4 hour, below like 29, let's see, what is this open right here? 29,400, I'd say is probably gonna be bad enough for me. If you want to wait on the daily, then basically same area, 29,400, and everything starts to turn down again, and very, very likely to retest, 19th of May lows, probably lower than that as well. I mean, generally speaking, I do think Bitcoin at that point would initiate moves back down towards mid 27s, maybe a little bit lower as well. Until that happens though, I guess hopium is still somewhat alive, but well, I'll just leave it right there. So, somewhat alive until that happens, right? Until that happens, just a potential setup, as we've seen many times in the past. Anyways, I'm going to be signing off now. I want to wish everyone well. I want to wish everyone the best, a nice and happy and healthy Friday. It's been a fun week, so massive thank you for tuning on in. Elsa's waving in the background because she loves you, and we'll be back soon. With that said, take care and see you hopefully soon.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, fix or pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test